Welcome to Book Talks with Mrs. Harris. This is the February edition. The first book I'm going to highlight is titled Of Curses and Kisses. It's written by Sandhya Menon, and this is actually a contemporary take on the Beauty and the Beast story. So since Valentine's is in February, I thought we would highlight a romance book. So as I said, it's an adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. It takes place at an very exclusive Colorado boarding school, and the two main characters are Princess Jaya, and she is the heiress of a royal Indian family, and she will do anything to keep in line with her family's wishes, her family's traditions, and because it's just a way of life, she has always hated the Emerson family. That's just all she knows. She's been told by her parents that the the families hate each other. So Gray Emerson is the other character, and he is supposedly the cursed heir of the Emerson clan, and he has lived a life of isolation, so similar to the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. It is told by both views, so you get to alternate the views between Jaya and Gray, and then they clash in typical fairy tale fashion, but it has a modern twist to it. So it takes place at St. Rosetta's Academy, and this is actually the first in a series, and we don't know who will be the next focus of the second book. But if you like romance books, a little bit of magic in it, fairy tale based, then you need to come get this book. It is in the romance section in the library of Curses and Kisses. Okay, and the next book is titled Chains. It's written by Laurie Halse Anderson, and this is a historical fiction, and it is written during the Revolutionary War. The main character is 13-year-old Isabel, and she has been promised freedom upon the death of their owner, but she and her sister Ruth don't really get their freedom like they were promised. They end up being sold by her owner's son to a very mean, malicious New York City couple. They're called the Locktons, and they have no sympathy for the revolution. They have no sympathy for Ruth or Isabel. And then Isabel meets Curson, who is another slave, but he has ties with the Patriots. And he encourages her to spy on her owners, who know details of the British plans of invasion. And so she starts to work with the Patriots. She is reluctant at first, but then the unthinkable happens to Ruth, and this kind of just boils her anger and makes her want to work with the Patriots even more and to fight for her freedom. So this is a very well-researched novel. Laurie Halse Anderson did a lot of research when she wrote this book, so it is very, very true to the events of the Revolution and what the slaves went through with their owners, and how many of the slaves did spy on their British owners for the Patriots. So again, this book is in the historical fiction section in the library. Okay, this next book is titled Slay, and this is a mystery. It's Slay, written by Brittany Morris, and it is about Kiera, and Kiera is 17 years old, and she's an honor student, and she goes to a very gifted academy called Jefferson Academy, and she is one of the only Black kids at her school. But at home and when she's not at school, she's actually a game developer of a game that has gone worldwide, and it's gotten to be very popular. And none of her friends know that she's the developer of this game. Her family doesn't know, and a lot of them even kind of talk bad about video games. And then a teenager in Kansas City is actually murdered over a dispute in the Slay world. The game that she developed is called Slay, and news of the game reaches the mainstream media, and her game is now labeled racist and violent and a hub for thugs and criminals, and she ends up being sued. So after being sued and having all these accusations thrown at her, she is very driven to save the only world in which she can be herself. And she has to just preserve that secret identity, but she has to also protect the game that she's developed without losing herself in the process. So this is in the mystery section, and it's titled Slay. So if you like murder mysteries, you will enjoy this book. Okay, the next book is titled The Sun is Also a Star. It's by Nicola Yoon. You may have read the book Everything, Everything or seen the movie. The book is also by Nicola Yoon. So The Sun is Also a Star is about Natasha, and Natasha and her family are in danger of being deported back to Jamaica. And Natasha doesn't believe in science. She doesn't. Oh, she does believe in science. In fact, she does not believe in fate, and she does not believe in destiny. But one day she's out in New York where they live, and she is going to visit the immigration office and try to talk them into, again, allowing her to stay in America and to not be punished for what her father did. Her father's not be punished for her father's story. And then it's also told, so it alternates between points of view by Natasha, and then the other character is Daniel. And Daniel has recently received a scholarship to Yale, and because of this, his dad has said you can take the day off of school this one day, and he's walking through New York in the park, writing poems in his journal, and Natasha and Daniel run into each other, and their lives intertwine, and there's a bit of romance. And, will there be a future there? And will Natasha decide that maybe she does believe in fate after all? So, this is in the realistic fiction section in the Austin Library. The last book that I'm going to highlight for this month is called Black Brother, Black Brother, and it's written by Jewel Parker Rhodes. She's also the author of Ghost Boys, if you've read that book. This book is on the 2021 Lone Star list. It is written about two brothers, Dante and Trey, and they come from a mixed race family. Their dad is black and their mom is white. Trey is lighter skinned, and Dante has the darker skin. So he's at the school that they go to, which is called Middlefield Prep. They're one of the very few people of color, and Dante has been dubbed the Black Brother because he has the darker skin, and many people just think that Trey is actually white, even though he's mixed. A lot of the teachers and classmates kind of say to Dante, "I wish you were more like your brother Trey. Your Trey's quieter and he's more obedient." And then Dante gets into an incident with one of the bullies at the school named Alan, and Dante ends up being arrested and suspended from school. And he realizes that the only way, really, to get even and to prove himself is to beat the bully at his own game, which would be fencing, which is not a sport that you see often. It's only available at more prestigious schools, and it's available at this prep academy. So Dante he practices, he puts his best in because he wants to be the best at fencing and beat his bully, Alan, who was the cause of his suspension in his own game. So this is in the realistic fiction section, and it is also in the Lone Star section in front of the window of the library. So come check it out. And that concludes this February edition of Book Talks with Mrs. Harris.